Well, hello. Welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger on July 4th, 2021. Happy Independence Day to our American viewers. Hopefully you guys had some good day visiting. It's crazy like how good it feels to be able to visit and have a simple little thing like an outdoor barbecue after over a years of crazy worldwide pandemic that we as much as we don't want to admit it, it's not over yet. So we must all be vigilant even if you are fully vaccinated. Please still be responsible. Wash your hand. Watch out for your hygiene. Just because you personally can't feel the symptoms of the virus, that doesn't mean that you can't still pass it on to people. And you never know who around you might not be vaccinated, who around you might have a low immune system, and you might just inadvertently pass some kind of weird variation to them. Now, I know some people out there probably think, oh, if you don't want to get vaccinated and if you catch the virus, then that's your problem. Well, I can almost agree with you, but the fact of it is, it's not as simple as that. Some people simply cannot get the vaccine due to health concerns, due to various genetic situations. I have a friend who already have issue with his heart swelling. So in his case, even the Pfizer vaccine is not safe for him because we already seen that Pfizer have resulted in some people end up with a swelling in their heart, which for someone who is already predisposed to that condition might just be fatal. And so, uh, be understanding, be considerate. Not everyone is trying to be an a-hole just because they don't want to get the vaccine. Some people want to, they just can't. And there might be other like religious reasons and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know all the reasons out there, but I know enough to say that a lot of people do have very valid reason to not want to get the vaccine or they just can't get the vaccine. And then, of course, we have people around the world from countries that just don't have access to good vaccine or vaccine at all. So you got to figure that if you are from a country that your government tell you, okay, we don't have any vaccine, so that's too bad. Or if your government tell you, we have this vaccine that we make ourselves. It's only 40% reliable, 40% effective, and there's a chance after you get the vaccine, you will not be able to have children. Would you take it? I think a lot of us probably would say, no, the heck of it, the heck with that. I don't want to take it. So yeah, that's my PSA of the day. Now a lot of places opening up and people are starting to party and have fun again, and that's great. But please be responsible, try to be considerate, hygienic, and understanding. Now that has got nothing to do with our topic of the day, but I just feel that uh, as more and more people watch my daily video, you have no idea how happy that makes me that we're getting a larger viewership. As more people watch my video, I feel that it's unto me to parse on some of these messages with these videos to help the world along. Uh, I don't generally go out of my way to try to uh, save the world or save everybody, but I do what I can when I can. Now, today, since we are talking about July 4th, Independence Day, I want to talk about something that is relatively relevant. Relatively relevant. That's a weird structure. That is relevant to independence for blind people. You see, when you're blind uh, or otherwise disabled, I'm just going to say blind, but this includes visually impaired, low vision, only have vision in one eye, no S, uh, or any other kind of disability. We all have a situation where when we try to be independent, we sometimes run into a lot of, well, quite frankly, stupid questions that can be quite upsetting. I believe that one of the earlier Soul Search Sunday, I did a segment similar to this. I still seem to remember that the title was "How to Offend a Blind Guy." So today's episode is very similar. I'm going to talk about some of the uh, most ridiculous, offensive, or stupid questions that I have encountered, experienced, heard of in my life. Now, we have all heard some people say there's no such thing as a stupid question. Because when people ask questions, obviously they are willing to learn. Not quite. Not quite. If you really think that there is no such thing as a stupid question, then congratulations. You have lived a lifetime without ever being pestered by people who ask questions for the sake of asking questions, or they ask questions for the sake of provoking a reaction out of you, or they ask questions without filtering it through their brain prior to opening their mouth. If you really think there's no such thing as stupid question, then you have been very blessed indeed. Because I can tell you, as a blind guy, I've been blind for 37 years. I have come across a lot of good questions, a lot of great questions, most of them just so-so questions. Uh, but I definitely have come across many bad, offensive, ridiculous questions as well. And that is what we're going to address today. I remember there was this one time, this was about 16, 17 years ago. I was in my early 20s. I moved to a new part of town, well, that was really far away from my family physician's office. And I decided to cast around and look for a new family doctor. So I found one that's actually quite close to my place, and so I made an appointment with the doctor, and I went to see her. Um, when I was in her office, uh, I think right off the bat, that she asked me, this doctor asked me, uh, "Who take care of you? Who take care of you?" Now, this question on its own is slightly offensive because you're implying that I need to be taken care of. You're implying that I can't take care of myself, despite me just gotten here to your office all on my own. No one drove me here, no one guided me inside. I found out where your office is. I came to your office on my own. But okay, on its own, it's a slightly offensive question. However, I wouldn't say it was a bad question. Because some people really don't know. Maybe as a family doctor, she had to ask this question. But what made this experience very offensive was what happened next. She said, "Who take care of you?" I said, "Huh? What do you mean?" She said, take care of you. So who take care of you? She said it slower, as if I was some kind of idiot, as if I couldn't comprehend what she was talking about. I said, um, nobody. I live on my own. I do things. I take care of myself. What do you mean, take care of me? She said, no, you don't understand. When you're at home, who takes care of you? Who's your caregiver? Who dresses you? Who cooks for you? I was starting to get aggravated at this point. Remember, I was in my early 20s. I said, I already told you, nobody. I live on my own. I can dress myself, thank you. I cook for myself. I'm, in fact, a very good cook. I got here to your office on my own. And she said, you, you're, you're lying to me. Why are you lying to me? I need to know who takes care of you so I can communicate with them if you have medical needs. Now, you can't be lying to me like that. Now, if that's one of my biggest pet peeve in my whole lifetime is I get very angry very quickly and very unreasonable very quickly when someone calls me a liar. We hear stories in the old Wild West where people can provoke each other into a gunfight when they call another person a liar. In the old French society, the old European society, if you call someone a liar, you better be ready to answer their challenge to a duel. You better be ready to fight to the death, because that is an outright insult. Calling someone a liar, they can throw their gloves at you, slap you across the face, and then challenge you to meet them tomorrow to fight a duel. That's how I felt at the time. At that time, when she said I was lying, but I tried to be very patient. I took a deep breath. I said, you don't understand what I'm telling you. No one takes care of me. I live on my own. Been living on my own for 5 or 6 years." And she walked past me and she opened the door. She said, I can't be your doctor if you are going to lie to me. And I stood up. I walked past her, headed out of her office. I said, no, you can't. You can't be my doctor if you are going to be such an idiot. And that was that. But that experience was just so offensive and very WTF that it stuck with me all these years. Another incident that was not quite as offensive but came very close was this one time me and a good friend of mine went to a Chinese restaurant. Mind you, this was a Chinese restaurant that I have frequented very often. My family, my parents, when they were still here, when I was a teenager, they ate at that restaurant. And after I moved out and started living on my own, I ate at that restaurant very often. The people at that restaurant knew me, or at least I thought they did. But this one time, my friend and I went there, and after taking our order, the waitress came back and was trying to be friendly and start have a conversation. And she said to my friend, she said, "Oh, you're so nice. You take him out. You're so nice. You take a blind person out. That's so great." I was sitting there feeling rather offended, like I am some charity case that people need to take me out and they have to be patted on the back when they do that. My friend was all kind of embarrassed, and to his credit, my friend actually said, Actually, that is not what you think. Actually, he takes me out. He buys dinner all the time. Now, any people with some kind of social etiquette would have left it alone at that point, right? If a waitress or waiter with any kind of social grace would just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean any offense," and then walk away, everything would be okay. But that waitress, I don't know what got into her head. She said, "Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I know that he'll pay, but of course he has to pay. You are so nice. You go to his house, you pick him up, and you take him out. You drive him out for dinner. Of course he has to pay, but it's still nice of you to do that for a blind person, right?" Me and my friend just stood up and walked out of there. I don't know if that Chinese restaurant ever figured out how they managed to offend one of their oldest customer, but I hope they did. I hope someone taught that waitress that that behavior just was just not okay. It was like when she came to our table to talk, she was bound and determined to put me in that victim role. Even after my friend pointed out that it's actually me who invited him out, me who was buying dinner, she still wanted to make like, yeah, because I was buying dinner because I should, because he went out of his way to take me out to eat. That was such a bizarre and offensive experience that again, it's stuck with me, even though it happened over 15 years ago. Of course, as a blind person, we also get asked a lot of questions that are just silly, outright silly. Not always in the bad way, but sometimes we really have to bite our tongue to not come back with a sharp retort. Because, let's be honest, if you already have an issue where you can't see, and sometimes you do need to ask people's direction, you can't really afford to react like a jerk, even though someone might have said something that offended you. I remember there was this one incident. I was in the supermarket buying grocery, and usually how I did that was I would go to the supermarket and I would go to the customer service. I say, "Hey, I'm totally blind. I'm here to shop, do some grocery shopping. Do you have a staff member that can help me by uh, going around the store with me and help me locate the items I need?" Right, so this uh, staff member that was helping me do that. She and I we were walking down the aisles, and I was telling her, okay, so next thing I need is a jug of milk, and then we also need a block of cheese, yada yada yada. And out of the blue, she asked me, she said, so when you get home, you have someone cook these for you, right? Because obviously you're blind and you need someone's going to cook these things for you, right? I really had to bite my tongue at that moment because what I felt like saying was, "You idiot. If I am not the one doing the cooking, if someone else is doing the cooking, don't you think that they would be here doing the buying? Why would I be doing the grocery shopping if I'm not the one doing the cooking? It doesn't make sense." But obviously, she wasn't thinking about what she was asking. And this was a staff member that just kind of uh, flaky because this was not the only time where she asked something that's so ridiculously stupid that it was very hard for me not to react to it. There was another time with the same staff member in the same store. went to the counter and paid for my grocery, and then we put it in bags. And she was showing me the how to get out of the store where the exit was. And she said, "Let me carry this to your car. Where's your car?" And I tried very hard not to laugh because you, do you think I would need your help to walk me around the store finding stuff if I could drive a car? Come on, people, please, before you ask a question, filter it through your brain first. Because when you ask questions like this, there's almost no polite way for me to respond. Speaking of polite way, uh, I do tend to be a little bit of a smart aleck and snarky sometimes, especially when people who ask these silly questions are people who are supposed to know better, people of authority, people of rank. For instance, a few years ago, there was a murder, and there was actually a body that was found in an empty house across the street from where I lived. Yeah, I know, very creepy. I actually slept that night not knowing that there was a corpse uh, within 20 feet of my bed. That's, yeah, I know, really creepy. So anyway, next day the police came to my place and they knocked on the door because I guess they were going around the neighborhood. I came out to answer the door. I didn't have my sunglasses on, so I don't know how many of you have seen me without sunglasses on. If you see me without sunglasses, you immediately know that I'm blind. Like there's no if, but, or what if about it. You look at, especially my left eye, you look at the scarring around my left eye, you look at the damage on my left eye, you know I'm blind. Right? So this police officer came to knock on my door, looked me in the face, and he said, um, "We want to know, did you see anything strange last night?" I try to be nice about it. I try to uh, answer him in a roundabout way. I said, "Well, did hear some strange noises, but in this area there's a lot of strange noises at night. Uh, so I don't know. Like I don't know what you would consider to be strange noises." The officer said, "I didn't ask you about noises. I want to know if you saw anything last night." And that's when I kind of lost it. I said, "No, officer, didn't see a single thing. Not a damn thing." I shut the door. How about this? I have two more. I have two more. This one was supplied by my friend Richard, uh, who's also blind, and he said one of the most crazy questions he got asked by a sighted person was, "When you're blind, how do you know if you're clean or not when you wipe yourself after you take a dump?" Good old Richard came out with one of the best answers I ever heard for that particular situation. Richard responded with, "Oh, didn't you know? Uh, when we blind people wipe ourselves, after we wipe, we smell the toilet paper to see if there's anything left on it." And of course, the person who asked the question was all grossed out and disgusted. By the way, that's not what we do. There's no art to it. When you wipe yourself, if you pay attention, the sensation of when you're clean, sensation when you're still dirty is very different. I pay attention to the sensation, then you wouldn't have to ask such a silly question. I don't know, like, do sighted people, every time you wipe, you bring the toilet paper up and look at it to see if it's still dirty? I don't know. Maybe you guys do that. But yeah, if you just go by sensation, there's a big difference. One last one. Another one that I got asked for, that's just totally ridiculous, that I ended up having to give a ridiculous answer to, was someone who asked me once, when you're blind, how do you blind people have sex? Like, how do you find it? How, I don't even want to finish that question. You know what the person's asking. Okay, it's vulgar, it's rude, it's ridiculous. So right off the bat, I said, we follow our noses, of course. Yeah, I wonder if that person ever got it figured out in their head that it wasn't a serious answer. Well, I hope you guys had some good laughs and good chuckles on this Soul Search Sunday. Remember, in this hot weather, drink a lot of water, keep yourself hydrated, and try to keep yourself and each other safe. We'll be back again tomorrow for Music Monday. For now, have a good night.